ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਗੋਬਿੰਦੇ ਮੁਕੰਦੇ ਉਦਾਰੇ ਅਪਾਰੇ, ਹਰੀਯੰ ਕਰੀਯੰ ਨਿਰਨਾਮੇ ਅਕਾਮੇ। ਗੋਬਿੰਦੇ ਮੁਕੰਦੇ ਉਦਾਰੇ ਅਪਾਰੇ, ਹਰੀਯੰ ਕਰੀਯੰ ਨਿਰਨਾਮੇ ਅਕਾਮੇ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Maharaj Kripa, today we're going to be going through the Adhyay, the chapter that is going to disclose about how the sansar is actually dukh. So in the previous Adhyay, for those of you if need a bit of a recap, Maharaj spoke about the importance of satsang, how to conquer the mind in the satsang, what is Brahma Gyan, what is the 7 stages of Brahma Gyan, and how to practice Brahma Gyan so that we can reach that stage as well. In here, Maharaj is, even in the last class, Maharaj explained about how to be detached from family, friends, and how they are actually the cause of the dukh as well. In the next Dohra, Guru Sahib explained that just like how I've explained that your partner, your family, your wife, your husband, your children, your houses, everything is like the cause of the dukh. Same way, the material wealth, which is the Maya itself called the money or the material world, Tan, it gives a lot of dukh as well. And how it's a cause of a dukh, it will be explained a little bit further up. Maharaj says, Ye sampat manat kure. It is, first of all, when we accumulate wealth, we think it belongs to us. Now, it is important to understand, for instance, the house we are living in, it did not belong to us. It probably either belonged to our parents, grandparents, or before that, we did not even have any blood relationship with those people. So if we look in a very simplistic way, it never belonged to us. We just came to the house and somehow we started labeling it as mine because we worked hard to pay the rent, to pay the mortgage and all that. Same way, Maharaj says, because we got so entangled in labeling, so the mind is, the intellect is such a labeling machine that it starts labeling everything as mine. Why do we label it as mine? Because of agyanta, because we don't know who we really are. We think we are this day. So when we look at this physical body or the subtle body, because we don't know what is our Sattva Sarup, we think this house, this partner, this family, this friend belongs to this body, this subtle body even, this me that I called as me, myself. But because we have forgotten the Atam Gyan, what we really are, the real Tan, the real wealth is the Atam Gyan. And that's because if there is no Atma, if there is no consciousness, no awareness, all the experience that's happening in the awareness will not be there. For in order to anything to manifest, there needs to be something present. And that is the Atam Satta, Satta Chit Ananda. Because it's there, all the Maya Rupi, all the material is, all the experience is happening there. So because we have forgotten that the real cause of Sukh is Atam, this Satta Sarup of who we are, we get entangled in the Maya Rup. So that's why it's called a chutti. Chutti means that which is there, but it's not going to last forever. So recently someone told me that they were going through the security, Melbourne security in there, and somehow they lost their jewelry and it was worth of thousands of dollars. Now, don't know what happened there, but obviously that person was extremely upset, sad about it, and it's been few months now, and they couldn't let go of that they have lost it. The reason is because they spend the whole life accumulating that wealth, And within one split moment, it was lost. But because we don't know our Atam Sarup, we think we have lost something. We think that that wealth or that thing belonged to us, so it's gone. Now we are going through that dukh as well. Mara says, how is that a dukh? Let's understand this. First of all, we get up early in the morning to do work. We have a job, we work, we wake up early in the morning. Sometimes we have to wake up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m., different time zones, so we can go and do the work, so we can make money and have a comfortable life. So, in that effort that we're doing, now we all know that's not very easy to wake up at certain point of time. But when we tell that we gotta get up early in the for the Amrita Vela to do Nama Abhyas, we struggle. Even though we are struggling to make money, we to go to the job, but somehow we still do it, knowing that we're gonna get some sukh out of it. If I make money, I'm gonna buy the things that I'm gonna enjoy, so it's gonna give me the sukh. Now, previously we discussed as well the reason we get sukh from that vastu is because the mind becomes still. It's not like suddenly there was something really important in that vastu. If we work hard, we get a job, we get a car, we get a house, it's not because there was sukh in the house, the vastu itself. It's because the mind became still. But because we don't know this reasoning, we think we got the sukh because the more I attain, the more I'm going to get sukh. But what happens next? The mind starts wandering again. We get the thing and then the mind starts wandering again. So that's how that's the tan. The wealth is way of dukh. What happens when we get the all the wealth as well? The next thing is we have to protect it. We worry about that we gotta pay taxes on it. We gotta either secure it in a locker or deposit in a bank, or there is always fear that what if someone takes it? What if someone steals it? And then we do pay for the insurance. So there is always this cycle going on. First to obtain, we go through the dukh, we go through the struggle. Then to keep it safe, we go through additional struggle there because we are worried that we're gonna lose it. What happens when we actually lose the thing? One way or the other thing. Now this is the truth. Someone may not steal it, okay? May not steal it, fair enough. But one way or the other, the thing is going to go away. Either you're gonna have to leave this sansar, which is the ultimate truth that yes, we have to. But because we are not mentally ready, we are so attached to the wealth, the items, that we forget that we're going to have to let go eventually. What happens when we struggle to let go? Then as if like the whole pran, sometimes even I've seen people to a point become suicidal because they have lost something, because they cannot accept that that thing was gone. Either it's a partner, either it's a material thing. Because of that, we even lose our pran. So that's how Maharaj is saying that understand this. This is how the wealth of the tan is cause of dukh. Taate inko sangatu chad kusal ji jaan. So Maharaj says, same way, become detached from this as well. Now, it is very important to understand detachment does not mean to leave the family, to leave the house, to leave your role and run away from the world or become a sannyasi somehow. Because the mind is going to be there in the sannyasi as well. It's the mind that's chasing the things. It's not who you are. So, Mara says, chard, like let go of that, be detached while you're doing all that. And that detachment is practiced through Nam. So Mara says that's how you're going to get the ultimate sukh. And do in such a way that if there is a snake in front of you, you know the nature of the snake is to bite you. Obviously, you're gonna get poison out of it. Same way, be detached from everyone, everything around you in such a way like you would be detached towards that snake. You would never go towards that direction, knowing very well that that snake, very nature of snake, is to generate poison. Same way, be detached in this way towards your family, towards your friends, towards everything around you. So, in this way, then you will become still in the Atmavastha. And this is important to do vichar of it in this, that who you are really as this conscious awareness rather than the material world. So Maharaj said this is how you can be saved from the attachment to this vastu. Jagat khed meh pare jin. Hmm. So that's how Maharaj says, that's how this Jagat is dukh only. And Guru is saying now, Sat kahun, Sat kahun, Sat kahun, that I am speaking the truth here. Guru says 3 times that I'm speaking the truth here. I am speaking the truth, and this is the truth only. Now, even if we have not experienced in our life, it's very important to do Kamai of Guru's Bachan here. Because Guru has something that we don't have. The Guru has the experience of it. Guru knows the Anand that we can get from the Atma, from our true self. So Guru is saying, know this in the past, in the present, and in future. No amount of wealth, no amount of family, anyone will give you sukha. So know this as sat. Maharaj says, I'm saying it from my mind as well, from this body as well, and through my words as well. Know this the truth. Even if you do not have the experience of this, nischay like from today onwards, accept this, that my guru is saying this. I know the jagat is dukh matar only. Jag samundar asakta. Now, Guru Maharaj is going to explain how, through an analogy between the ocean and the sansar, this jagat that we see. So, Maharaj says this sansar is like the ocean. And in this ocean, the attachment is the water. Now, because water is everywhere in the ocean very much is formed of the water. Same way, this Jagat is of attachment only, more only. And as there are so many species in the oceans, different animals, same way there is Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. The desires, the anger, the frustration, the Lobh, the greed, the Moh, the attachment, and Ahankar. Ahankar is me doer, that I am the one who's doing everything. All these are the jeev in this sansar rupi ocean. So Maharaj says Parama Pavar. So the tornado, the whirlpool, is of the Param, of the illusion. And the Param is that I am this body, the other person is that, labeling different everyone around us. I'm this body, Paramatma is separate, Jeev is separate. This is the Param, this is illusion. So, Dukha Sukha, and in this ocean, the waves are of that Dukha and Sukha. Now, let's understand, where does the Dukha and Sukha stem from? The Dukha and Sukha only stem from duality. Only when we think us to be separate from this whole universe, we think if the life unfolds according to our expectation, we think that is Sukha. Something has unfolded. Let's say an event has happened and it met your expectation. We're gonna be happy about it. That's a sukh. We consider that as a sukh. But somehow it does not unfold according to our expectation. What's happened here? We suffer. We think I'm gonna struggle because it did not go according to my expectation. That's why it's a dukh. But if you look at the bigger picture of the life unfolding itself, this vast universe folding itself, it's doing exactly what it's meant to do. It's neither doing against you, it's not working for you, it's not working against you. It's the hukam that's unfolding through everyone, as everyone. Hanji. So this is the dukh and sukh. Chinta badwa agane. And this chinta, the constant worry, is that hidden fire in the ocean. Like there are natural gases in the ocean that can cause fire as well. So Guru is relating that chinta, the constant worry that what's gonna happen next? What if I don't get this? How I'm gonna attain this? How can I gather more? That is the chinta that's happening, like the fire, the wildfire is present there. And the desires are that wind that's blowing on the ocean. Because what happens, a desire comes, let's say a desire to get another thing, then the mind starts doing chintan of it, starts worrying, constantly thinking about it. Let's say you like a person, you constantly start thinking about that. Okay, then we do the effort. In that effort, we go through heartbreak, we go through all the different struggles. When we get that person, we feel that we have attained happiness. So we stop the chintan of it. Then the next thing comes. And if you really observe in the world, there is no end to it. It's constantly happening. There is an end to it, but that's in the Atmavastha, when we understand how the mind works and how we are the king, the controller of the mind, and not the other way around. That's why in Gurbani Maharaj says, Man jeete jag jeet, because the mind, the whole sansar is in the mind only. And if we can conquer the mind, then the whole sansar, everything gets conquered. Jehe jahaj jai main paryo. Maharaj says now there is in this ocean there is ship in that ocean. And obviously, when there is whirlpool, there is wind blowing, all these different struggles going on, this jahaj, this ship is going to sink only. So same way, it's our avastha as well of this body as well. How can we attain contentment when there are so many desires around us? The very nature of sansar is that. So Maharaj says, Kidda, how can we even be detached when there is so much happening everywhere? Maharaj says, Apno chitta daras peo. Maharaj says, this here, Guru is talking about the perception. That it's never the object, never the thing, never the sansar that causes the stress or the worries. It's our own perception about the world. That's why Maharaj says, Sab Gobind hai, Sab Gobind hai. That's why Maharaj gives mantra, tu hi, so that the mind understands that it is all Paramatma. Whom will you dislike here? Whom will you have this grudge or anything against? So it is the perception that's causing the stress, the causing the problems that makes us think that there is something wrong in the other person. The first thing, very nature, the mind does is when something doesn't go according to our expectation is we like to look at people or things to blame to. This happened because that person did not treat me well. This happened because this person in the family or friend or whoever or my work in there did this. So it is a change of whole shift perception here, Maharaj is saying. And how to understand this? Now, if let's say someone has cataract, so in Punjabi it's called motia in the eye, the cataract in the eye. So what happens when someone gets cataract? they obviously have problems like they get blurry vision. Sometimes they are not able to see things clearly as they are, or they might see an extra object in the vision. Now, Maharaj here is saying that understand this. Same way there is problem in our observation, the way we perceive the world, that is the problem here. It's not the world that is the problem. The problem is how we see. Just like how a person with cataract, he thinks the world is blurry. But obviously when he, let's say, gets the surgery done, when he gets the gets it operated, and he's able to see the sansar again clearly. His vision becomes clear. Same way, when Guru gives Gyan of Brahma Gyan to understand how the sansar actually works and how it is actually Brahma Roop only, because Maharaj says, Chaya Rupi Hoye ke Bichrat Siri Gopal. It's the Paramatma, the awareness itself, which is Nirlep, but taking the form of all the Panch Tat, it's doing it as a khed, Leela, jinu kende ne. So it's doing that Leela, and because we don't have the Gyan, we think it's the other person doing it. All the gun, avgun, everything is in Paramatma only. There is nothing beyond Paramatma. So that's how Maharaj says that's why the problem is in us. I can't remember the Pankti in Gurbani. Maharaj some says, Doshna dije avarjana, dosh karma apnya. That don't blame anyone else. It is your own doing, own perception that's giving you the dukh. Tate tan abhiman taj. Guru says now let go of the ahankar, the attachment to this body. Because everything is happening because you think you are this physical body. One or the other day, the truth is this body was a child one day. It's reaching a youth age. Tomorrow it's going to go into an old age. It's going to get old as well. So Maharaj says, let go of this attachment to this body. Because this is like that noose. It's a fancy around your neck that's trapped you in there. So let go of that attachment to the body. And Brahma Gyan de naal, yeah. And then see everything as Brahm. And then in this way, you will never have any dukh from the sansar. Because wherever you will look, it will be Brahm only. Wherever whoever will be speaking through you, through anyone else around you, it will be Brahm only. Maharaj says, Kathata Bhakta Sunata Soi. It's the one listening, one speaking, and one talking, everything. So Maharaj says that's how apply the length of Gurmat here. Apply the Brahma Gyan, that it is all Paramatma only. Now we need to understand what's happening here. Maharaj is doing reprogramming of the mind. In Gurbani, I think it's called Kadna, to reprogram something. First, the mind thought this was as different things. Now, in Advait, in oneness, the mind is only seeing one everywhere. And when the mind is through the senses filtering, only seeing one, then the thought's going to be based on that as well. Slowly, that's how the thoughts become. Sometimes one can reach the thoughtless state as well. And that's because there is only oneness everywhere. That's how Maharaj says, do abhyas in this way. While talking to your family, while talking to anyone, even if, let's say, there is a person you don't get along well with, talk to the person in the same way that it's Paramatma only talking. Because it is Paramatma only that's talking, even if we don't know. So, in the same way, doing everything, all the cards, all the work of day to day life, practice in such a way, remain detached, and slowly and steadily, when the agyanta of the mind is removed, then one gets Atam Darshan. Maharaj says Sukha Brahma, so on. Now look, Maharaj is comparing the sukh of, so as we know, there is Brahmalok, Shivalok, Vishnupuri. So these are the different tin devte that has their own um, puriya, like locations, you know. So in that, Maharaj says, consider all the sukh even in that equal to the excretion of a dog. Maharaj is saying, know this very well. And the reasoning behind is because Maharaj knows that it is very temporary. Like human body, we get maybe to live up to the age of 100. All the sukh that we think we're going to get from this sansar is very much temporary. It's not going to last forever. The things we liked as a kid, we do not like it anymore. The things we are liking in this age group, we're not going to like when we are older. When we, as we going to get closer to the old age, we're going to reflect everything. And if we don't have the gyan, then we're going to regret. But if we have the gyan from the guru, then we can see, then we are still going to be in the detached avastha. So Maharaj says, see all these sukha from all the tin lok as equal to the excretion of the waste of a dog. Now, if that is the case, then in the same way, see the sukh from this sansar as merely literally nothing. Have no prem for this. Because if that sukh from the Devte lok are not going to last forever, the sukh from this lok is not going to last forever as well. Maharaj says, do not forget this. This is a very core value, that don't forget that this sukh is very much temporary. Anji. So Maharaj next gives a analogy that what happens through, so basically there is a bird called babiha, it's called cuckoo bird. And what does that bird do is, when he notices there is some fire going on, and because of the smoke that's created from that fire, he thinks that's clouds. So what he does is he goes towards that fire, the smoke, thinking that it's the cloud, so that he can drink water. As he goes closer to that cloud, he obviously hurts himself. He hurts his eyes because that is just the smoke. To him, that's cloud. So that's the same way Mara says, that's how we go towards these padarat. We go towards our family, all the material wealth, thinking as if it's going to give us sukh. But because we don't have the gyan yet, we get entangled in that. And then we can't find the way out. Then we chase another thing. Whatever the society programs us, the society has very much, the society has already set the limitations, already said that by this age you should be doing this. By this age you should be doing this. Yes, that's fine. We all have to do it certain things by certain age. But there is a way to do it. That is the Gurmat, that is the Brahma Gyan, that's being detached. And all the spiritual paths are talking about letting go, be detached. You still gotta do everything, all of that, but in that way of detachment. And Maras is Murak, like the person who doesn't understand, a person, someone who's so stupid like myself, who can't even see that I'm gonna get dukh out of it. So what does a person like me do? Chasing those things all the time, one after the another, not realizing that actually that's not a cloud, that's just a smoke. But if we understand Guru's wisdom, we will be able to see that this sansar is nothing but Paramatma Roop only. But it is mithya. It's temporary. It's it is here, very much present, but it's gonna change. So that's why we need to practice, look around ourselves, the things that are always changing. So that's why in spiritual journey as well, sometimes it's called neti neti, that this is not you, this is not you. Anything that is in change is not Sat, Puran Sat Roop. And there is one thing, our true Sarup, which is the constant awareness as who we are. From this awareness, all the sukh comes. So it's not like we have to find this peace. We have to just realize who we are. The peace is just the byproduct. Its very nature is peace. Its very nature is anand, because there is no end to it. That's why it's always constant. There is no fluctuation happening. So it's always constant there. Hanji. Maharaj says, even in your Pugti At Sukh Paye, Nar Parai. So Nar Parai, we already did Vichar in last class as well, that Nar Parai means another person, someone you're not married to, or in your husband, person you're not married to, could be a wife or a husband. So here Mara says, don't even think about another person, even mistakenly in your supane, in your dream as well. And the reason is because Mara says it's only giving more thoughts towards the desires only. When we have the thought, we think about engaging. It could be here, calm could be the sexual desire as well. To the desire to be wanting to be physically involved with someone. Mara says don't even do it in the supane, because it has it's gonna only add mal to the antekaran, to the mind. Now, oftentimes it happens when Sikh Jan, if they do abhyas, these things naturally come. It says that the mal of antekaran is getting removed. Because the calm vashna is getting removed, it is important for the Sikh not to be fearful here, not to get scared or feel guilty, to do samarpan, to surrender that to Guru only. That Maharaj, I have no power in me to conquer these thoughts, to conquer all that. I'm giving this to you as well. That's what it means by tan man tan sab saump Gur ko. Now notice you don't have to physically do anything in this avastha. You have to surrender fully to the Guru. So Maharaj says, and Parai Nar. Nar Parai means duality here. That's the deeper meaning of Nar Parai, that not to practice duality, to see everything as one. Maharaj says, Jidda, how a bird, now if you have noticed that a bird will see that they go and they start look at the food, and then they start, obviously they want to fill up their stomach, so they go there without realizing that it's a trap set up by the person who's going to eventually catch them. Maharaj said this is the avastha that has become of this mind of humanity. We know, in fact, we sometimes don't even know that it's a trap. So if we already have started to know it's a trap, then we can save ourselves. But Maharaj said this is how the avastha of Manukh has happened, that like a bird who knows that, who's not able to see that if he goes and you know indulge into that food, someone is going to trap that bird. He doesn't know. Same way Maharaj is saying this sansar has become. ऐसे सुख से जान जग, know in the same way that this sansar, all the desires, no matter what, all the desires, that's the ultimate. Maharaj is saying, no, that don't think that this desire is better than the other. Yes, the desire for Naam is that's why it's considered the Uttam, because it is the desire of Naam that's going to give Brahma Gyan to someone. So the desire of Naam is Uttam. But no, all the desires of temporary things is a trap. And you're gonna get caught into that. Bas pahin bichar. Maharaj says here we do vichar of this, that how it is a trap, and practice detachment in such a way while living in your practicing your daily life. So Hanji, we will take Vishram here today. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.